Hi, and welcome back to Bounce Forward with me, Tiff. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm recording this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders past and present. Adrian contacted me with a great question. Hey, Tiff, I'd love to know your thoughts on the power of positive language while you're on your fitness journey. I know there's a lot of personal trainers that do have the yelly approach, but what have you found with your clients and encouraging words? This is such a great question because I've always got the best out of my members through encouraging them and not yelling and quietly motivating them and educating them around why they're doing stuff and what the benefits are. And then they motivate themselves because they're like, wow, this is really going to do X, Y, and Z for me, and it's going to help X, Y, and Z. So then they do it. So I think education is really, really important. But using positive language in fitness, it really impacts your clients' attitudes, motivations, and their overall performance, right? And I find that it can be transformative to their success. And there's a lot of benefits. So, it enhances motivation. Just those encouraging words are so important because it's going to bring your members or your clients enthusiasm and their eagerness to push through challenges and work out harder when you are encouraging them with affirmations and motivational speech. They're more likely to stay committed and enthusiastic rather than just being yelled or put down. I'm a big believer in building self-esteem and confidence. Empowerment is my game, and I think that using affirming and supportive words that make people feel good about their abilities and progress boosts their self-esteem, making them feel capable and confident in their skills and their body, which is essential for their personal growth inside and outside of the gym or the session or the online workout. Like, I'm all about empowerment. You also want to have a really good client-trainer relationship or member online trainer relationship that is fueled by trust and comfort, I think. And I think positive communication fosters that supportive relationship between the two of you. And it can be a bond that lasts. Some of my members have trained with me for over 8-9 years. Like it is the foundation. And if you want long-term clients, members, business, then you need to work on your language. Plus, I'm a big believer that people come to work out because they want to relieve stress and anxiety, right? So if you're yelling at them, how is that stress release? I really think that you need to have a bit of a relaxing environment. And, you don't have to yell. Some of my coaches over my time when I was, doing more athletic stuff, they've just whispered in my ear, and it's been the biggest push. So I think that having a welcoming environment, it can reduce anxiety related to performance or self-image and encourage them to actually enjoy the workout. I think there is a world where you can enjoy working out, and I really do believe that. So I think it's important. Now, a big reason I am so supportive of positive language is that it promotes a growth mindset, because this is something I'm trying to teach my son at the moment, because he's got a very fixed mindset and he's very negative about himself at school at the moment. So focusing on progress, focusing on what members are doing well and how they can improve rather than their shortcomings or, you're not doing that good enough, that promotes a growth mindset. So that perspective helps members to see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles. So, I'm not going to do a sled push. It's too heavy. I can't do that, blah, blah, blah. But when you are really encouraging them and using positive language, they'll see it as a challenge and an opportunity to grow. And let's see if you can just push 5 meters. Let's get 10 meters next time. You can really foster a more productive and proactive approach to fitness, I think. And then overall, I think it really is great at increasing persistence and resilience. So resilience is really important, I think, in training. And I know that I'm more resilient from my training. It's not something that I learned anywhere else. It's through sport and challenging myself in the gym, in the dojo, that I've learned resilience. And so positive reinforcement can help that. And I'm just thinking about my son now when I'm talking to you, because these are the things that I'm trying to instill in my kids as well through the same kind of language. You know, like I was talking about, it improves overall satisfaction, and then you get more retention of business. So you always want that. And it cultivates that positive training environment. And it's just so important. My dad taught me very young. I started training as an instructor at the age of 12, and I was an assistant instructor at the age of 12. And by the age of like 16, I was taking classes on my own. And he always taught me praise, feedback, praise. That's the way you need to approach it. For anything you're doing, oh my God, your kicks are so awesome, but how about you drive through the knee a little bit more? You'll get more extension on that kick, but I love the height of the kick. It is fantastic. Like praise, feedback, praise, always. And always being aware of the tone, your body language, your facial expressions that convey positivity, not negativity. So I'm always very trying to be open with my body language when I'm giving some feedback. But the growth mindset is really important. And psychologist Carol Dweck, she developed the growth mindset beliefs. And I just can't recommend that enough. I'm doing this with my son. And we've got he does it at school as well. The school promotes a growth mindset. And it's just really important going forward that you embrace challenges and persist and see effort as a path to mastery. I think that's really, really important. So I guess I've been very lucky in that my dad was a professional coach. He coached at, I think, 4 Olympics. And he coached Lauren Burns to our first Olympic gold medal in the sport of Taekwondo at the 2000 Sydney Games. And that was the first gold medal, I think, won in a sport, and won by a female. And oh my God, it was just such a magic moment. And he's a professional coach, right? So everything is about mindset and enhancing overall well-being. So I learned from him resilience. I really did, that you face challenges and you recover from setbacks because you don't view them as failure or a direct reflection of your ability. It's just a setback, and you can take on these challenges because you're continually learning, which is a martial artist's philosophy, that you are a black belt for life, that you go through the belt levels, white, yellow, blue, red, black. Then you become black belt, first dan, second dan, third dan, fourth dan, fifth dan, sixth dan, all the way up to ninth dan. And you keep going and you just never stop learning. But you're black belt, right? You've been black belt forever. So it's part of that mindset, the black belt mindset, my dad would call it, that was imbued in me, that you always learn through challenge. You always learn through setbacks. You're always looking for feedback. You always take on that feedback. And it was a great mindset, the black belt mindset, and seeing that effort as a path of mastery, effort not as fruitless, but rather as essential for growth and mastering new skills, was just the most important thing for me. Mastering self-talk is also something that's really important and challenging. I understand that, because you have to accept imperfections. You can't be perfectionistic and think, I've got to be perfect, because that is you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. So hiding from your weaknesses means you'll never overcome them. Acknowledge your weakness. That is a good thing. And then, as I've said, view challenges as opportunities. Each challenge is an opportunity for growth, so that's good. And then I think you have to replace the word failing with learning. That's what I always do, because especially now, I'm a PT, right? I talk to you on this podcast as a personal trainer. But in my real life, like outside of this podcast, I run a business, and it is full of fails daily, I'd have to say. But I would not have survived in business nearly a decade now if I saw them as failures. I'd have to say I see each time as a learning opportunity. I'll learn from it next time. I'll learn from it next time. And that has just been pivotal to my success. And then I think self-talk, you've got to stop seeking approval. Focus on improving and learning, not seeking approval from others. Don't compare yourself to other people. And I think in all of this positive language and self-talk and everything, you've got to value the process over the end result. We have a saying in Taekwondo that black belts are just white belts that never gave up. It's about the process. It's about, it's never about the destination. And everyone always says it's the journey, not the destination, but it's really true. It's absolutely true. The outcome naturally follows, but you've got to really have that hard work and time and increase your abilities and skills and cultivate a sense of purpose and have the big picture in mind. And that's where the growth mindset comes in. Thanks so much for listening to Bounce Forward. I love having your company, so please DM me on Instagram at tiffhall_xo and let me know what topics you'd love me to cover and send me all your questions. Don't forget to rate and review me on the podcast app. Speak soon. Happy days.